Salute. Wahutesa. Emi lo lati mo mohoye. The day lafia. Divine risings and rotations. Kujichagulia. Self-determination. Listen, this is not talking about individual self-determination alone. But in order for there to be a thorough collective determination that drives the individual has to overstand themselves. Because in overstanding oneself, you begin to overstand one's people. In overstanding one's people, you begin to overstand one's society, community, nation, the world. Because even within yourself, you have differences. You have different thoughts, you have different functions, different contributions, different ideologies, even within your body. And that same thing applies within your household. That same thing applies within your community. That same thing applies within your society. You have different perspectives. Yet every perspective has a right to be respected. There's no obligation to embrace anyone's perspective, but there's an obligation to respect everyone's perspective. Now, if we feel like we can't find comfort sitting amongst certain perspectives, then remove yourself from that perspective. If the heart didn't feel comfortable sitting where it's set, then the concepts of the body would change. If the mind or the eyes or the ears didn't feel comfortable sitting where they sit in the proximity of other things taking place, doing their own unique character and personality things, hearing, smelling, seeing, thinking, so forth, then the body would become a different concept of a function. And based upon what we have right now, as far as the way the body works, a healthy body works, that body will become dysfunctional. In order for a body to be full, in order for a body to be holistic, every single thing in the body has to be respected for what it does in the body. Every single personality and characteristic trait that lives within your body has to be respected. So when it says, I am self-determined, that means I have examined the human body and I have understood how communities should work. Because within the human body, there are many communities. And those communities work hand in hand, not trying to force their indoctrination or their perspectives or their spiritualities or whatever the case may be, because the heart is not going to call upon the exact same cosmic force as the brain, and the brain is not going to call upon the exact same cosmic force as the spleen, and the spleen is not going to call upon the exact same cosmic force as the genitalia, and the genitalia is not going to call upon the exact same cosmic force as the other organs, the feet, the hands, and the skin. The eyes are not going to call upon the exact same cosmic force as the throat. Each chakra system is not going to call upon the same concept of cosmic force to contribute to its elevation. Yet each chakra system, working at its optimal, holistically, calls upon and deals with and communicates with and works with and plants and sows in a manner that's going to be not only productive to itself, but productive to the chakra systems below it and the chakra systems above it, because it's a pull and a push. It's a push and a pull. It's an elevate, it's an ascend and a descend. And it's a consistency, the same route that in the cosmic concepts of how it was set up in the ancient Kemetic structure of the ladder. You had the Huru that was in consistent communication doing the work of Ra, and Ra was in consistent communication, still working through Huru-Ur. But each level of cosmic force that's in that chart works something different. Some work air, some work water, some work sun, some work fire, some work earth. But there was a balance of understanding. There's a movie, I think is it's dang, how am I not remembering this movie? Where they basically had a society that was being brainwashed and it was being controlled, and they were separating the powers. They were isolating the powers in their own groups. Um, it's right on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot remember. It starts with a D, but they were isolating people based upon the group. So they would even isolate family members from other family members because they didn't want them to work in sync. This is exactly what we see in society. We see all sorts of capabilities. We see all sorts of talents, skills, and gifts and ideas that have been trained to work in odds against each other instead of in sync with each other. But if we were first taught how the functions of the body work, so above, so below, so within, so without, we will understand how family is supposed to work. We will understand how community is supposed to work. We will understand that the brain, there's intelligence in every single thing in the human body. There is a brain. There is a brain within every single thing in the human body, but then there is the brain. And the brain is responsible for the intellect. The brain is responsible for the wisdom. The brain is responsible for the transmission of all information throughout the rest of the body system. So the brain is going to work different to acquire those things than the other things are that still have brains within them, still have a little intellect within them. But the brain is the divinity, the cosmic force of intellect, understanding, knowledge. And so it examines every single thing, while some of the other things under the brain don't necessarily spend their time examining the functions of the other things. So just remember, be lenient, be considerate, be compassionate with each other. Stay focused, stay positive, stay around focused and positive people. Never lose who you are once you know who you are. Never sacrifice who you are for nothing and nobody. Don't just wake up, get out of the bed and stay out of the bed and assist others in rising from that slumber. Alafia farano wo monife rela nidi wope aka sima kayeri onyun kapon naka kayeri flama umuntu wenga bantu lai ni waju korisa hin fiedenu ya soto weto faraka wajibu nakupenda usifiwe nakupenda usifiwe nakupenda usifiwe. Salute, peace and motivation, wholeness and motivation. Have an illuminating day. I love y'all immortally.